Hi everyone, I'm Ethan. This is John Walk of Indiana University, Institute of Information Engineering, Chinese Academy of Sciences, and University of Virginia. The title is Demystifying Hidden Privacy Settings in Mobile Apps. First, let's see what is a privacy setting. Take an example of Facebook. There is a setting named Nearby Friends. For a better service, the Facebook users' current location to enhance the social connections. To get users' agreement, they provide a setting in the app, and users can set a setting to decide who can see their current location to protect themselves. So for understanding more functionality categories of privacy settings, we collect 600 privacy settings from 200 apps. And according to the data they protect, the settings can be classified into 6 categories. The first one, on-device data such as do you share contacts with weaker? The second one, about users' personal profiles such as show age on your profile. And the third, users' social connections, such as ask users who can see your friend list. And fourth, users' behavior, such as don't show my listening history to my friends in the musician app. And fifth, users' posted content, such as who can see my diary. And the last, anti-spam, such as don't accept if users has no profile icon. It is important to note that in all the categories, only on-device data can be protected by Android system permission. For the other 87% of the privacy, they can only be controlled by the privacy settings. So in our study, we want to understand, besides the familiar privacy data protected by Android system permission, whether people really care about other privacy protected by privacy settings. So we performed a user study to understand the user's attitude. Take the Facebook as an example again. We show the settings screenshot and describe the setting usage to them in the questionnaire. Like here, we tell them Facebook access your location even when you are not using the app, and ask them, what do you feel about if this case happens? We provide 5 choices for them to choose from very upset to I don't care. The user study lasted for 2 weeks and more than 200 people participated. From the user study's results, we find that 83.5% of participants choose upset or very upset for at least one privacy settings in our questionnaire. And 71% participants think that the privacy setting related as important as or even more important than those covered by Android system permission. So the problem comes. If users cannot find these valuable privacy settings, the privacy may be disclosed without users' consent. Let's see an example named Alipay, a Chinese famous financial app, has more than 1 billion users worldwide. It has a setting named Show Message Details. It can control whether show the message details such as amount change of your user account when user lock the mobile screen. It is a privacy setting, but it's hard for users to find it in practice. This is the settings UI path. Users can only find it by click the It's indicator Me in the homepage view and then click the setting, and then click the general instead of the privacy indicator in the settings view, and click the notification, and eventually they can find a setting. This privacy setting hides too deep for users to locate. So in our work, we call this hard to find privacy setting as hidden privacy setting. Besides Alipay, we also find this problem in other apps such as Facebook. In 2016, Facebook even was given a Big Brother award as the biggest privacy offender of the year because of the hidden privacy setting. So we want to understand what are the fundamental causes of the problematic of the privacy setting. So we perform a second user study to collect users' perception of the privacy setting design. We prepare the testing apps and install them on the emulator and real device for users and ask them to find. For example, we tell them some social apps such as YouLove often provide settings for users to set whether to share location, please find it. After they found it, we ask them how difficult was it to find the setting, and we still provide 5 choices for them to choose from, very easy to very difficult. If they choose a difficult or very difficult, we further ask them, why did you have trouble finding it? This study includes about 600 privacy settings and lasts for 3 months. More than 700 people participate. From the user studies results, participants think that 47.12% of the privacy settings are difficult or very difficult to find. And they also provide us 1,008 feedbacks for why they think they are difficult to find or why they think they cannot find it. For instance, a participant comes like, I don't see anywhere. I go to privacy settings. It's not anywhere to be found. You seriously have it there? So we summarize settings, and we find the root causes of hidden privacy settings can be classified to 2 categories. The first one, when the privacy setting design violates a user's habit. For example, when the UI path is uncommon, participants cannot find the settings in their familiar paths, so they may ignore the uncommon UI path to find the privacy setting. The second, when looking for the privacy setting challenges users' patience. For example, when the view contains too many UI elements, such as Facebook again. One of its view contains even more than 50 UI elements to click. Users will lose their patience when finding it. So here we summarize the 6 root causes from the feedbacks in total. So next we want to understand in the real world how seriously the hidden privacy setting problem covers. To discover hidden privacy setting from a large number of real-world apps, we designed an automatic tool named Hunt. The Hunt has the high-level design of the Hunt has 2 steps. First, extract privacy setting from app and identify the hidden privacy setting from the privacy settings. Each step contains a key classifier. In this line, extract settings from an app can already be done by existing work such as Super. So the key of the Hunt here turns to how to design suitable features for the 2 classifier. For the first classifier, we use a TF-IDF of each word in the setting text description to design the features. The TF-IDF can reflect how important a word is to a document. And in our work, we use it to reflect how important a word is to a privacy setting description. So in our work, we model each setting text description with a high-level dimension feature vectors. Each dimension represents a word in a word bag. If a word in a sentence, the corresponding dimensions value is a word TF-IDF. Otherwise, the dimensions value is 0. For the second classifier, we designed 14 features to summarize the 6 root causes from the feedbacks. For example, the cause a view contains too many UI elements. We count the number of the UI elements in a view placed in a privacy setting as a feature 9, and we also calculate a percentage of the privacy setting in the view as a feature 10. Since in a user study, some participants complain that privacy setting and other general settings mixed together, it's hard for them to single out a target one. Other more detailed features can be found in our paper. And after we designed our 14 features, we found to calculate features, we need to know the privacy settings precise UI path. So next, how to extract an UI path becomes the key point to calculation of features. One may think of dynamic analysis, but this approach is time-consuming and can only extract a limited number of UI paths as we know. So in our work, we use a static we statically extract it, but it's still challenging due to the complexity of the layouts design and the limitation of Java language static analysis, such as how to deal with inheritance. So in our work, we designed a novel technique named semantic-based UI path extraction. It's based on observation that the title has a semantic connection with the indicator user click. Let's see the UI path example of the Alipay. Each text of the indicator has the same semantics with the title of a view after click it. So we leverage the semantics of the indicator and the views to build the connection between them, and we backtrace from the view placing the privacy setting to the home page and extract the UI path. So next, we detail how to extract the semantics from the indicators and the views. In app, indicators has two type of category, text and icon. For the text itself provides best semantics. And for the icon, we leverage the Google search engine. We upload the images such as a setting as a figure showing, and Google's best guess says it might be a setting or a gear, so we can know the semantics of icon. And for the view, intuitively, the title of a view can use it for as its semantics. But if the view doesn't have title, the class name and the layout file name, such as privacy setting.layout, also may be used as the view's semantics. So in this way, we can extract the semantics of indicators and the views and build the connections between them and extract a given privacy settings UI path. We developed our tool Hunt and use it to analyze 100,000 apps from the real world. We found about 7,000 apps has about 18,000 privacy settings. And in the 7,000 apps, nearly half of them have hidden privacy settings. And in the privacy settings, more than one third are difficult for users to locate. This result reveals that in the real world, the hidden privacy setting is pervasive. And we also studied the problem to the popularity. In a study, we found in an app with more increasing downloads, more of them have privacy setting. And in the meanwhile, the app with hidden privacy setting increase. An educated guess could be that the developers of popular apps, they may pay more attention to the privacy settings, and they are more likely to make the settings more explicit. And we also studied the hidden privacy setting problem over time. For the 7,000 apps, we crawled the latest version in the 2018 year, and finally we got about 5,000 ones. And after comparing them, we find some new privacy setting appear, but some original privacy setting disappear. But the sad news is the hidden privacy setting problem becomes more serious, not only such as a figure shown, not only in the app with hidden privacy setting, but also the number and the percentage of hidden privacy settings, they all increase. And to our astonishment, some apps changed from easy to find into hidden in a new version. After we look into them and find these apps increase more functionalities and corresponding settings, maybe it is because that it's hard to balance the usability of apps and the control on privacy. So the developers do not design the privacy setting well. But we are also happy to find some apps changed into easy to find in the new version. For example, such as Baidu Map and BMW Motorrad, they gathered the previous scattered privacy settings, such as in the tracking setting view and legal notice view, into users' familiar view, like privacy setting view. We also found these improved apps all have a large number of downloads. It appears as, again, that popular apps attach more importance to the designs of privacy settings. They are more likely to make the privacy setting usability better. And moreover, when the hidden privacy setting problem will be even more serious when they are set to leak users' privacy by default. So we randomly collect privacy settings to study, and the results are still astonishing. 78% are set to leak user privacy, and among a hidden privacy setting, a higher percentage, 82% of them, set to leak users' privacy. And to our surprise, 100% hidden privacy setting in the user social connection categories expose users' privacy by default. And one more thing, we find an interesting thing, that some texts look like they are protecting users, such as shown in the picture, do not show people I follow and groups I've joined. But the setting is switched off by default. So in fact, the privacy exposed. In our randomly selected privacy setting data set, we find that more than 20% of them has this problem. So users may just leave the setting there and do not change the switch's default status, and they may leak their privacy without any consent. So based on our study, we noted 5 suggestions for developers to design better usability of privacy settings, such as less setting, privacy settings, starts, and UI paths. And finally, let's summarize our conclusion. In our study, we have new understanding of hidden privacy setting. We summarized the potential causes of hidden privacy setting and reviews the significant impact in the real world. And our work can help design better usability of privacy setting and enhance the protection of the user protection. And we also provide a new technique to automatically discover hidden privacy settings. We developed a hunt, and it helps us do a large study in the real world. Thanks for your listening. Welcome question.
So if you have questions, please come up to the mic and your name and affiliation, please.
Hi, Brian Mastenberg, Western Digital. Did you evaluate how many of these applications were available on a European app store or were otherwise from vendors that would be subject to GDPR?
Sorry, could you please repeat again?
So I think many of the settings examples you show would potentially violate the European GDPR regulation. And so I'm wondering how many of these examples were applications that were potentially subject to GDPR. Maybe the more popular applications that seem to be cleaning up their privacy settings were doing so for compliance reasons.
Yeah, after we analyze the app and we evaluate these settings by another user study. So we hired 200 people to evaluate the settings. The hidden privacy setting we discovered. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? So I have one, I guess. So with your reviews, you were doing a lot of user feedback on, this is hidden. Were there anything surprising in terms of what users actually liked in privacy settings? Can you invert the analysis to say these are the best practices that we found from users?
Sorry.
You focus mostly on hidden privacy and things that users found to be confusing or difficult to find. But
Yeah.
The inverse, you could also say, what was good to users? What did they actually find was helpful with privacy settings from the surveys that you ran?
Yeah. Sorry. I heard the first part. People find the privacy setting difficult to find, but I didn't catch your question.
I'll follow up offline. That's all
Yeah,
right.
okay,
Let's thank the speaker again.
Thank you.